it's live now. Let me see. Okay, so I can see it's live. We're gonna give like 2 minutes to see if anybody will join.
Are we live already?
Yes, we're live. We're already live. So I was just giving like 2 minutes to see if anybody's gonna join, and then we can start. I'm just checking to see if everything is okay. Check on your Facebook if you can see it.
Let me check on my.
I can see it on my end. I see an Evelyn, but I don't know who it is. Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and start.
Okay.
Hello, everyone, and welcome back to episode 2 of the Shift Men's Health Month edition. I am Vera, a healthcare provider, and your host for today. Thanks for joining us for this important conversation. In today's episode, we are diving into a topic that too many men are dealing with silently. It is time for the midlife metabolism reset. Today, we are talking weight, hormones, energy, and mental health in men. All the things that change in your late 30s, 40s, and 50s, and that no one ever warned you about. But before we jump in, let me know in the comment section, where are you joining from today? I love to see where our community is tuning in from. Joining me today is my guest, Damian Ba, someone who has been part of these community conversations, asking great questions behind the scenes. And today, he brings real life, midlife perspective and will also help reflect the voices of our audiences. He is here to ask real, raw questions that many of you are wondering about. Damian, welcome.
Thank you so much for having me, Vera. And I'm here to learn, right? Ask what I think a lot of people are wondering, and just keep this conversation human and grounded. So, without any hesitation, let's start with the big one, which is why do men say their metabolism just stop working when they are in their 40s or 50s?
Thank you so much, Damian, for that question. So, as many men age, they naturally start losing muscle mass. They start losing about 3 to 5% of their muscle mass after the age of 30. Muscle is actually a metabolically active tissue that burns more calories at rest than fat tissue. So, as men lose these muscles, their resting metabolic rate drops, making it easier to gain fat even when they are eating the same diet. So, literally, the lower your muscle mass, the fewer calories you burn at rest. Fat begins to accumulate around the abdomen, increasing the risk of insulin resistance, diabetes, and heart disease. Also, your testosterone levels naturally decline as you age, starting around the age of 30. Testosterone actually plays a huge role in muscle growth and metabolism. So, its decrease after the age of 30 can contribute to slower metabolism. So, this is what is happening. Midlife is also a time when so many men are dealing with several life stressors, such as raising a family, work, finances, taking care of aging parents. Chronic stress from all these can lead to persistent elevation in cortisol levels. Cortisol is the stress hormone which increases fat storage around the abdomen and increases insulin resistance, also slowing down metabolism. More so during midlife, many men with their busy schedules have sleep deprivation, coupled with lifestyle factors such as sedentary lifestyle, poor dietary habits. This can worsen the age-related metabolic changes. Eating more calories than your body can burn, combined with the decrease in physical activity, can decrease your metabolism, leading to weight gain. Yes, so this is what is happening, that metabolism slows down during midlife. I hope that is helpful.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. And most people blame themselves, right? Or think that they are just getting lazy. But I think
Right,
that's deeper than that, as you just said.
exactly. It is deeper than that. It's actually biological, but it's also reversible. And that is what we are here to explore. For the men watching, has your body changed in your late 30s, 40s, or 50s in ways you didn't expect? Share one thing you have noticed. Damian, did you notice any specific changes in your weight or energy in your late 30s or after 40s?
Yes, I felt like I was gaining weight, even though nothing changed with how I used to eat, right? I was constantly tired. Is that something that you hear from other men out there?
Absolutely. That's really right. So many men, like I see my patients every day. I get that complaints of, weight gain after the age of 30s and 40s, because your testosterone level starts declining after the age of 30. And then after the age of 30, you begin to lose muscle mass, like we mentioned earlier, right? All this can affect your metabolism, combined with that stress and a busy lifestyle, and then the weight creeps in.
Yeah, I hear men say I used to eat less and move more and be fine. What does that? Why doesn't that work when you're in your 30s and 40s?
Right. As mentioned earlier, as men age, their metabolism begins to slow down, right? The basal metabolic rate, which is the number of calories that your body burns at rest to maintain basic function, also decreases, meaning that you will burn fewer calories than you did in your younger years. As metabolism slows down, your body starts burning fewer calories than you did in your younger years, even if your activity level and your diet stays the same. Muscle mass loss and the testosterone decline also occurs after the age of 30. So, when you reduce your calorie intake drastically in your late 30s, 40s, or 50s, especially without adequate intake of protein, your body perceives this as a threat, and then it initiates an adaptive response to conserve energy. This can further lower your basal metabolic rate, making it harder to create a calorie deficit for weight loss. That is why it is so difficult when you get to your 30s or 40s and even 50s to eat less and move more and lose weight. Without sufficient nutrition, particularly protein, aggressive calorie restriction can lead to muscle mass loss, which is often counterproductive as it further slows down your metabolism. Hormonal changes, too, due to restricting your calories when you get to your late 30s, 40s, and 50s, can actually increase your appetite and cravings, making it difficult for you to adhere to a strict diet. So, the adage of, eat less and move more often becomes less effective for men in midlife due to a combination of physiological and lifestyle changes. Crash diet lowers your testosterone levels and metabolism. Too much cardio can lead to muscle mass loss, and muscle mass loss will slow down your metabolism. Men actually often undereat protein and overeat carbs. Coupled with lack of sleep and alcohol, this disrupts hormonal balance. So, during midlife, the focus for men should be increasing protein intake and strength training, not a restrictive diet. I hope that makes sense.
That makes sense. It's not just about eating less and moving more. It's about eating and moving smarter, right?
Right, exactly. Men in midlife need to build more muscles and not cut more calories out.
Okay, so what can men do in their midlife to successfully reset their metabolism? What is the smarter approach that men can use?
Right. The smarter approach for men to use in midlife to reset their metabolism would be one, strength training, lifting something heavy. Start lifting something heavy at least 3 to 4 times a week to build and protect your muscle mass, because the lower your muscle mass, the slower your metabolism. As mentioned earlier, after the age of 30, men and everyone in general begin to lose muscle mass after the age of 30. So, strength training by lifting something heavy at least 3 to 4 times a week helps to build and protect these muscles. Because, like I mentioned earlier, muscle is a metabolically active tissue. The more muscle mass you have, the more calories your body burns even at rest. Secondly, consume at least 30 grams of protein with each meal. Also, eat high fiber foods with healthy fats like avocado oil and olive oils. Number three is consistent and quality sleep. I cannot emphasize the importance of getting quality sleep each night. at least 7 to 9 hours of sleep helps to reset your metabolism during midlife. Men should also prioritize rest and also reduce or completely eliminate alcohol. Alcohol helps to slow down your metabolism, increasing the risk of weight gain. I'll also advise men to support their metabolism and not to punish their body. Eat to support your metabolism, not to punish your body. Also ask your healthcare provider to evaluate your labs. Check your labs, check your testosterone levels, insulin levels, vitamin D levels, and thyroid levels. All these approaches that I've mentioned are very, very helpful. If you follow them, it's going to help you to reset your metabolism in midlife. Thank you for that question, Damien.
That makes sense. What about hormones and mental health, right? Can low testosterone affect how a man feels mentally?
Absolutely. Yes. Low testosterone level can affect men mentally. Like I mentioned earlier, as men age, testosterone levels naturally decline starting around the age of 30 years. This decrease in testosterone levels can lead to a range of symptoms mentally. For example, low testosterone level can contribute to increased irritability and more frequent mood swings. This is because testosterone plays a role in neurotransmitters function and brain health, affecting the regulation of hormones and emotions. Low testosterone is also often linked to feelings of sadness, depression, and anxiety in men. Men may also experience a lack of motivation, low self confidence, disinterest in activities that they once enjoyed. The low testosterone too can also cause persistent fatigue and low energy, which can further worsen feelings of sadness and irritability in men. Hormonal changes can mimic burnout and depression. Hope that answers your questions,
Yeah,
Damien.
that answers my question. And I think a lot of men properly feel this, but they don't know that it's a hormone issue.
Right, right. They just kind of, just leave it like to stress and stuff. Meanwhile, it's actually hormonal.
So, is it possible that someone's mood is being impacted by their biology, not just their circumstances?
Right, yes. It is not just emotional. Someone's mood can actually be impacted by their biology because it's not just emotional, it is hormonal and also physical. All the hormonal changes in midlife, can cause all these symptoms. And so many men are experiencing it, but they don't talk about it. They just think maybe it's just stress, but it's actually midlife and the hormonal changes. Let me check here and see if somebody's trying to log in. I don't see anybody. Okay. So I was thinking somebody was trying to get in. So, to our viewers, if this episode is resonating with you, type reset in the chat or comment. Let's make this interactive. Tag a brother, a partner, a friend who needs to hear this conversation. Now, let's go deeper into something most men don't talk about. Something we almost never hear about: mental health.
So, why do so many men shut down emotionally during this phase of their lives or during
Thank,
this phase of life?
thank you so much, Damien, for that question. So, during midlife, so many men turn to shut down emotionally because, from a young age, many men are taught to equate emotional expression with weakness. We hear phrases like man up, don't cry, be strong. This leads to emotional suppression as a survival tactic in men. So by midlife, this pattern is deeply ingrained into men, making vulnerability feel unsafe even when it is needed the most. Many men actually have fewer close friendships by midlife. After the age of 30, 40s, or in your 50s, many men really don't have close friendships, especially the ones that allow for emotional openness. Without safe, non judgmental spaces to process feelings, they internalize stress, grief, and anxiety, often expressing them through anger, silence, or withdrawal. Midlife is also a time when there is peak of life responsibility for men. They are dealing with work, family, aging parents, finances, and health. The pressure to hold it all together can lead to silent burnout in men, where emotional needs are often pushed aside for the sake of duty. Also, many men, their testosterone starts declining after the age of 30s. It often leads to fatigue, low motivation, irritability, and mood swings, like we mentioned earlier. These symptoms are often misinterpreted as laziness or disinterest when they are signs of hormone related emotional exhaustion. Lastly, despite the growing awareness of mental health, the stigma around men seeking therapy, coaching, or support still exists. So many men fear being labeled as weak, unstable, or not man enough. So they stay quiet even when they are struggling. So when men shut down emotionally, it is often not from lack of feeling, but from too much feeling with no place to put it out. Recognizing all this is the first step to shifting the narrative around men and mental health.
So, how can we then encourage men to take care of their health without the fear that most people are going to be judgmental to them, without being judged?
Right. Yeah. Thank you for that question, Damien. So we can start shifting the narrative around men's mental health, right? We can start encouraging our men to take care of their mental health without being judgmental by shifting this narrative around men's mental health. First of all, we have to start normalizing therapy. We have to normalize, tell men that it is okay not to feel okay, to normalize that it's okay to seek therapy. We also have to encourage our men to rest, take rest. When you're feeling overwhelmed with all the life pressures, it's very important to rest. We have to start supporting our men without pressure or shaming them. We also have to start inviting men into conversations that model openness, like what we are doing right now. We should remind our men that being vulnerable and asking for help is actually strength. So, men, please be honest. When was the last time you talked to someone about your stress level? I want to hear it in the comment section. Let me see if there's any comment. Oh, somebody was trying to join. Let's see. I think somebody was trying. Yamu. me see who this is. I don't know who is trying to join. Please. I was trying to see who was trying to join, but I can't see them anymore. Are you seeing anybody else?
No, from my
I
end.
see like a K. Let me try to. Do you know a K or something? I don't know. Please, is anybody trying to join? Just send me a message here. Because I think some people were trying to join. If you're trying to join, please send me a message so I can add you to the stage. Hey, Damian, did anybody tell you they're trying to join? Let me know if they're trying to join so I can add them. All right, so it's time for our Q&A. Now, let's hear from our viewers. We have covered a lot so far, from hormones and metabolism to mood and mental health, and I know so many of you have questions or personal thoughts to share. This is your moment. Please drop your questions in the chat or comments, big or small, whether it is about your lab work, energy, weight, or even how to start this conversation with someone you care about. There is no such thing like a silly question here. This is a safe, respectful space. And if you are wondering about it, trust me, someone else is too. So let's take a few minutes to dig into what's going on in your mind. I am ready when you are. We're going to take a few minutes to get questions. If anyone is trying to join, please just send me a message so I can add you to the stage. Damian, do you see anybody trying to join? I see a K here and Evelyn. Please, can you let me know if you're trying to join? Please drop your questions in the chat. There is no big or small question. And there's no such thing like a silly question here. We are waiting for your questions.
I think there's one question asked by Evelyn that just came up. Is there any role?
Can you, sorry, can you repeat that?
There's a question that just came up.
I cannot, what does the question say? Oh, let me see. Hi, Evelyn. Thank you so much. Yes, I can see the question from Evelyn. Thank you so much for joining us. I really appreciate you for being here. Evelyn is asking, is there any role ladies can play in supporting men with their fitness goals? Is there any role ladies can play in supporting their men with their fitness goals? Yes, as ladies, we do have a huge role to play in the life of our men to help them support their fitness goals. The most important thing is encouragement, encouraging our men that it is okay to take breaks, to rest, right? To rest, because most of our men, they keep on working and working endless hours without resting, without sleep. Lack of sleep offset your metabolism. It worsens metabolism. And when your metabolism is slow, it is very difficult, to have that energy to even think of going to exercise, eating healthy. When your metabolism is slow, you crave a lot of unhealthy stuff. So as women, giving our men that encouragement, telling them that it's okay to get a rest, it's okay to rest. It's one important step in supporting our men for their fitness goals. Resting, getting at least 7 to 9 hours of sleep each night, it helps with metabolism, which helps to slow weight gain. Secondly, as ladies, we need to help, prepare the meals for our men. Not, not in all cases, but encourage them to eat what is healthy, right? Eating a healthy diet. Most men do not eat enough protein, they go for carbohydrates. Protein is very important when it comes to fitness in men, because that's why they say protein is a natural Ozempic, because protein helps to curb out cravings and helps you to stay fuller for a longer period of time, right? So when you're fuller for a longer period of time, you don't have to be grabbing stuff here and there. So encouraging them to eat more protein in their meals is one of the most important steps to help them with their fitness goals. We can also help our men by, joining them when they want to go exercise, right? If they say, oh, today I'm feeling a little bit tired, I don't want to exercise. We just, help them say, I want to exercise with you. Go with the man. Go with your man. Help him exercise. It's going to help you too. So that's one of the most important things that is helpful. We can help our men with their fitness goals. Damien, do you have anything to add to what I just said?
No, you said it all. You said it all right. I think helping them with their meals, because at the end of it, your meals, your diet is what is going to make the biggest difference, right? And then exercise as well, right? Just you have to be consistent. Consistency as well is something that is very important.
Yes. That motivation and staying consistent is very, very difficult, especially in midlife. It's very difficult in midlife because men are juggling so many responsibilities, taking care of their families, their aging parents, their job, finances, and even health. So it's very difficult, for these men to, they come back home and they're very tired. They don't want to go exercise or anything like that. And one thing I was going to add is we can support our men by encouraging them, yes, to exercise. But during midlife, I am going to emphasize this. During midlife, strength training by lifting weights or anything heavy, it becomes very important. It becomes non-negotiable. Many people think that cardio is the way, to be fit. They think that doing cardio is the way to be fit. Yes, it is okay when you're doing a lot of cardio when you're growing up to your 20s and early 30s. But in the late 30s, 40s, and 50s, cardio, when you're doing a lot of cardio, it tells your body that your body is under stress. It puts your body under stress and it makes you to lose your muscle mass. You actually need that muscle mass to stay fit and metabolically active because muscle is a metabolic active tissue. So we can go along with our men to strength train because both men and women need to strength train during midlife. I hope this helps to answer your questions, Evelyn. Can you hear us, Evelyn?
She said yes, thank you.
Thank you so much, Evelyn. If you have any more questions, please let us know. I really, really appreciate you for being here. You are very welcome, Evelyn. No question is too small or too big. No question is too silly. Please ask your questions in the comment section.
So before we get any question, another thing I also wanted to add is don't be shy to start. The start is going to be very difficult, but
Right.
gradually, baby steps, right?
Baby step.
And when you want to start this journey or you want to start something on going out and exercising, or you're making sure that you're eating healthy, you have to start gradually. Because at the end, if you are aiming that, okay, you're going to do everything within 1 week, it's going to defeat the purpose.
Right.
You're going to give up easily at the end, right?
It's gonna backfire because so many people go into it like it applies to both men and women. Midlife comes with a lot of issues and stuff, and we all start gaining weight, right? And so they get up and say, oh, I want to start exercising, and they just want to see a change right now. It doesn't work like that. Like Damian said, baby steps, because if you take it so fast, you're gonna give up very easy. So baby steps, and it's very important. It's going to help you stay consistent. And what works for you might not work for somebody else. What works for me might not work for Damien. Damien might wake up in the morning and like to exercise. But as for me, I would like to exercise in the evening, right? So what works for somebody might not work for somebody else. So choose what works for you. Do what works for you. Because during midlife, the goal is not for us to shrink. We are not supposed to shrink during midlife. We are supposed to build ourselves. That's why I really do encourage, the exercising like Damien was talking about, and strength training. We cannot emphasize it enough. Strength training and increasing protein in your diet is one of the most important things during midlife, because we're not trying to shrink ourselves. We are not trying to shrink our muscles, because we need those muscles for almost all our bodily processes during midlife.
So cases consistency is always a factor, a big factor, right?
Hi, Kay. Thank you for joining us. She Kay says consistency is always a big struggle on a fitness journey. What tips can you share to stay consistent? Yes, consistency is always a big struggle. It is always a big struggle for the fitness journey. So many people started and they give up within a few weeks. Like I said earlier, what might work for me might not work for Damien. What works for you might not work for somebody else. So, because so many people are always trying to say, oh, I'm going to get up in the morning, 5 a.m., to go to the gym. And they're trying to push themselves, even though they are tired. You don't have to go to the gym at 5 a.m. in the morning if you're feeling tired. You can go in the afternoon, you can go in the evening, whatever works for you, because this is going to help you stay consistent. When you are fighting, trying to push yourself so hard to do what others are doing by getting up early in the morning and going to the gym when you don't feel like doing it, you're not going to stay consistent. You're not going to do it. You're going to give up because you're going to be tired. So choose what time of the day and what works best for you. Take slow baby steps, like Damien said, because when you try to over push yourself, your body's going to be overwhelmed. So always do what works for you. Just because somebody is in the gym lifting those heavy metals doesn't mean you're going to do the same thing. We have water bottles, we have backpacks. Those are things that are heavy. So do what works for you and for your body. Do not try to push yourself so hard like other people are doing. Do not look at what other people are doing. I know some people come and tell you, oh, I have lost 20 pounds in 1 month and stuff like that. I don't always agree with that, you know. And then you go and then you don't lose 20 pounds in 1 month. And most times when they're saying those things, it's because, they are doing things that are going to backfire very easily. So always do what works for you best. And when you are on a fitness journey, slow and steady, it's very important. You don't want to overdo it fast. Always do what works for you best and don't do it so fast. For example, if you start exercising this month and in 3 months you have just lost 8 pounds, that is so good. Slow and steady. You don't have to lose 20, 30 pounds in a month, because the goal is not for you to shrink. The goal for fitness in midlife should be building more muscles, because more muscles help you with everything.
How about diet control?
Hey, Kay. Thanks again for the question. Kay is asking, what about diet control? Personally, as a healthcare provider, I do not put my patients on any diet. There is no diet. I am not about fat diets, because during midlife, the goal is not for us to shrink. Those things work when we're in our 20s, right? But now in midlife, controlling diet doesn't work. What I advocate for in people to about, because when people hear the word diet, they think it's something is strict. This is that strict thing about, not eating this, not eating that. I don't tell people not to eat this or eat that, right? What I tell people about diet is increasing the amount of protein in your diet. Increase the amount of protein with each meal. Because, like I said, protein is a natural Ozempic. Protein is a natural Ozempic. Why? Because it helps to cut out your cravings. Protein is a natural Ozempic. It helps to cut out your cravings. It helps to keep you fuller longer. So when you eat more proteins, you don't have to be snacking on stuff that you're not supposed to be. So increasing protein in your diet is what I tell people every day. At least 30 grams of protein with each meal. Make sure you're getting the least 30 grams of protein, because most of us don't get enough protein in our diet. And that is why it is very important. That's why it's very difficult for us to lose weight during midlife. It's very difficult. The hormonal changes that are happening in our lives during midlife. For men, the testosterone decline. For women, the estrogen decline. All leads to us, not able to lose weight. And you know what? The worst part of it is that weight gain is around the abdominal area. It goes down there in the abdominal area. That's why you see a lot of men in midlife, they have abdominal, they gain weight in the abdominal area. But like I said earlier, if you start increasing at least 30 grams of protein with each of your meals and lifting weight, it is going to help boost your metabolism. Protein helps to boost your metabolism in such a way that even when you're resting, your body is still burning calories. But when you're eating a lot of just a lot of carbohydrates, even though we still need carbohydrates, but when you're eating a lot of carbohydrates more than protein, this is what happens to your blood sugar, dips and lows, dips and lows. And then you gain weight around your abdominal area. I hope this answers your question.
Also, Vera, there's something that I wanted to add as well that maybe you can touch on. Portion size as well is important, right?
Right,
So portion size, when you're doing this, portion size has to be very, very important, right? You don't
right,
want to overeat, right? The fact that we are saying eat, we know you're supposed to have 3 meals a day, right? You don't want you eating 5, 6 times a day, right? Because that's
right.
overloading your body.
Right. And the thing with us is because so many people actually wait to eat three large meals a day. People wait to just eat three large meals a day, right? I always advise my people to eat. You can eat smaller, frequent meals. You can even eat 4 or 5 times a day, but smaller portions, right? Because you know what, Damien? During midlife, during midlife, because our hormones are changing, we start craving more. We feel hungry more. You understand what I'm saying? Like, we feel hungry more during midlife as our hormones are changing. And so many people tend to eat those huge, heavy meals without, thinking, even though it's hormonal, right? So I always encourage them to eat smaller, frequent meals with at least 30 grams of protein in it. Hi, Kay. I hope I did answer your question. Thank you so much for joining us, Kay. If you have any more questions, please let us know. No question is too small or silly. Please ask your questions in the comment. Kay says people tend to shrink in an unhealthy way when doing weight loss. How do we stay on the journey while still looking healthy and fresh? This is a very important question, Kay. Thank you so much for asking this question. Yes, so many people, because when people are trying to lose weight, you know, they think that they have to shrink. We do not have to shrink when we are losing weight. What causes people to shrink in an unhealthy way when they're losing weight is because of the rapid weight loss. So when you lost weight rapidly, you lost your muscle mass, like I talked about earlier. Any rapid weight loss, either from medications or from strict dieting, makes you look unhealthy because you do lose your muscle mass. That is the reason why so many people look unhealthy, like their face will shrink, their muscles will shrink when they're losing weight, because one, they lose this weight rapidly. And secondly, they're not eating enough. So once you lose weight rapidly, you're going to lose your muscle mass, and that's why you look unhealthy. So how do we stay healthy and look fresh while on this journey? Increasing your protein intake and strength training, like I said earlier. Even if you're on medications or you're on a diet, make sure that you have enough protein in that diet. Make sure that you're eating enough protein and lifting weight. Enough protein in your diet is going to help you build those muscles that you're losing because of rapid weight loss. I always advise my patients every day. For example, I see patients for weight loss, right? I prescribe Ozempic and all those medications when appropriate, but I will not do it for a patient that I don't know how they're going to increase their muscle mass, because these medications causes you to lose your muscle mass. That is why you see people when they're on those medications or they're on a rapid diet, on a strict diet, they look unhealthy, because these medications or rapid diets make you to lose your muscle mass. You lose the muscles on your face and stuff, and that's why you look unhealthy. So my advice to everyone that I always give my patients is to I make sure they're increasing the amount of protein in their diets and lifting weight to build their muscle mass. There is no way that I put a patient on medications that I don't know they're going to the gym or actively exercising to increase their muscle mass. The loss of muscle mass from rapid weight loss and from those crash diet is what makes people look unhealthy on their weight loss journey. I hope this answers your question, Kay. Damien, do you have anything to add?
No, I think you said it all, right? I think you said it all.
Because so many people, they want quick fixes. They want quick fixes, right? When they want to lose weight, they want to lose it now. Like I said earlier, there is no way to lose weight now and feel good or look good. You see, most of those people, when they lose weight rapidly, they can't even walk. They have no energy because they're not eating, they're not getting enough protein, they're not lifting weight. Thank you so much, Kay, for that question. I really appreciate it. And I hope my answer is helpful. If anybody has any questions, please ask us. We are here for you. That's why we are here today. We will give 1 more minute and then we will wrap up. All right, K. K says last one. Going to the gym, you may want to cut just your belly, but it turns out to cut your entire body. How do you handle that? Yes, going to the gym, K, actually, if you want to cut just your belly out, it actually will end up cutting your whole body, right? You're going to lose everywhere because when you're trying to lose weight and you're exercising in the gym, your whole body, you're actually exercising your whole body. You're gonna lose weight everywhere, except you're just targeting exercises that just work the abdominal muscles. If you're walking, like using a treadmill and stuff like that, the treadmill is working all your muscles. But if you want to only cut your belly, then you just have to do exercises that only target the abdominal muscles without exercising your whole body. Because if you're climbing on a treadmill, it's gonna cut down everywhere. If you're running, you're gonna lose weight everywhere. But if you just want to lose the belly weight, you have to do exercises that only target the abdominal muscles. I hope my answer helps. Damien, do you have anything to add
No.
with what Kay said?
So it's difficult, right?
It's very difficult.
It's very difficult. But as you said, if you're trying to lose just your belly fat, you have to do abdominal activities, right? But then if you're going on the treadmill, or if you're going for walks, or if you're even
Yes.
riding, you're doing riding bicycles and all whatnot, it's going to target your entire body, right? So
Yeah. And the unfortunate thing is that, like I said earlier, during midlife, as you hit your late 30s, 40s, and 50s, all the weight gain goes to your abdomen. It goes to the abdomen. And one important thing that I was going to really tell people is stress. Stress is one of the most things that causes this abdominal weight gain. Because what does chronic stress do? Chronic stress elevates your cortisol level. Cortisol is the stress hormone. So when you're stressed constantly, no matter what you're doing, if you're stressed and not getting enough sleep, you're going to gain weight in your abdominal area because that's what it does. When you're stressed, your cortisol level, the stress hormone rises, and it accumulates fat around your abdomen. And even if you're going to the gym and you're constantly stressed, that fat is not going to go away. So stress reduction is very important in our weight loss journey.
and another thing that I would like to add, and stress, is 7 to 9 hours of sleep. Sleep is very, very important.
We can overemphasize the importance of getting 7 to 9 hours of sleep. It's very important. People don't understand it. Most of us, we're in America, we are in different countries, and all we do is work, work, work. We think that we just have to be working and nonstop. You can work all you want, but then it's going to catch up with you. It's going to catch up with you. There's no running away from it. If you're getting 4 or 5 hours of sleep, it's going to catch up with you eventually, especially in midlife, especially after hitting 40. Lack of sleep is going to catch up with you. Thank you so much, Kay. Kay says that was very helpful. Thank you for joining us, Kay. I really appreciate you being here. Damien, do you have anything to add before we go to our closing?
No.
Or is there any other questions?
No, I think we covered basically everything when it
Okay.
comes to weight loss.
and the midlife metabolism. All right, so let's go to our closing now. So I would like our viewers and everybody that is watching this now and is gonna watch later to know that during midlife, your body is just changing. You are not a failure. It is biology. An important thing is strength, sleep, food, and hormones all matter now more than ever before. Like Damien and I just said earlier, sleep and stress management is very important. I want to let you all know that you are not weak for struggling. You are human and support is available. So before we wrap up, Damien, do you have any closing statement for us and our viewers?
Yeah, all I want to ask you, I'm going to put it back to you, is I just want to thank you. And I think that this conversation is an eye opener, right? So,
Right.
what key message are you going to leave? What key message can you leave to the men in their midlives today? What key message do you have for them?
Thank you so much, Damien. I really, really appreciate you for being here, for showing up with honesty, curiosity, and on behalf of so many men, speaking on behalf of so many men, right? I am very, very grateful. The key, thing that I'm gonna leave to men out there is to know that during midlife is all if all this is happening, it is not your fault. It is biology. And knowing what is going on, being informed is very important. And that is why Damien and I will organize this whole live today to encourage the men out there, because June is Men's Health Month. And usually men, they just in midlife, they don't think about their health. All they do, because of the family responsibilities, the job, the finances, they're just working, 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 and not taking care of their health. I want men out there to know that taking care of your health, speaking up about your health, talking about your stress is very important. We have to keep the conversations going. We have to shift the narratives. We have to shift that narrative of, oh, men don't cry. We have to shift all those narratives, because the narrative of be strong, men don't cry is actually making men more sick. I want the men to know that seeking help is not weakness. Asking for help is not weakness, it's actually strong. Because you know what? Strong men ask for help. Strong men talk about their health. Strong men seek therapy. So, I want to say a huge thank you to Damien, my guest, not just for being here, but for showing up with honesty and curiosity on behalf of so many men. Damien, you help make this space feel safe and real. You ask the right questions that so many men are afraid to voice. And I know someone watching tonight feels a little less alone because of you. To our viewers, thank you for joining us for this episode of The Shift during this Men's Health Month. If you have been struggling with any changes in your body, your mood, your energy, you are not crazy. You are not lazy. Your body is just talking to you. And it is time to listen with clarity and compassion. I want to give a special shout out and thank you to Kay and Evelyn for joining us and asking the right questions. Thank you so much. I really, really appreciate your presence and your questions. I want you all men to know that your midlife reset starts now, not with punishment, but with understanding. Remember, if you're going through all these changes, if your body is going through all these changes, you are not crazy. You are not lazy. Your body is talking to you. It is telling you that it is time to listen, and you need to listen with clarity and compassion. Don't miss our next week episode, which is going to be titled The Silent Epidemic, Burnout, Relationships, and Stress in Men. Until then, stay informed, stay supported, stay seen, and don't be afraid to keep shifting and changing the narrative. Thank you all so much. See you all next weekend, same day and same time. Thank you all.
Thank you so much, Vera.